my life. It is, gosh, I'm getting all my days mixed up. Is today Monday or Tuesday? I promise you, it feels like Monday, but I suspect it is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Why am I getting all my days mixed? No, it's Wednesday, Lashonda. Look, that's how you know the week is long when you getting your days mixed up. Um, Welcome. I decided to go live tonight because I'll have these random moments throughout the day when the Lord places something on my heart to share with you guys. And so I wanted to use this opportunity to chat with you. I know it's early for the live beginning, so there may be some people on, there may be some people that'll catch it on the replay. If you are on the live, which I do see one person, I would love to know who you are, and so I can say hello. Don't be shy. So, one of the things that I was doing earlier was I was having this nostalgic moment with my music. So, most of you know I released some singles on the R&B side of the house and deep soul house side of the house. But I was like just reminiscing on some of the old demos that I had done, and I was like, yo, if we could just have an album of just demos, I think that would be so fun. Um, but just thinking back on some of the collaborators that I've had over the years and just how appreciative I am to have had those relationships. You know, it's like, it's funny because when you're doing music and, you know, people have other lives and are doing other things. So people's lives kind of morph into different directions, but your commonality is always still going to be the music. And I was just thinking about my collaborations with Ivan, with Chris and Conrad. Um, Man, when I tell you we've had some jam sessions, I'll have to go back and see if I can find like videos and just little excerpts from some of the sessions we've had, because when I tell you they were electric, and I can kind of sympathize with like major recording artists and how their just their excitement in being in the studio, because that was really an exciting time for me. I was one of those people, I would, if I was really feeling a song, I would just kind of geek out. So people would know, like, okay, if she's like jumping up and down and she's geeking out a little bit, that simply means that she is really enjoying what she does. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, bless you. I appreciate that. I never know who's going to be on the lives. I kind of just do the brave thing and go live, and then whatever happens, happens. Because what I realize is I can go live, but it's really about, you know, the now and the later. Because people watch these lives days, weeks, months, years. I've seen replays of lives, and, you know, they might have happened 9 months ago, you know, but they're fresh to me because I've never seen them. So thank you so much for just taking time out of your evening or day, depending on where you are in the world, to join me this way. I think this is such a very awesome opportunity for us to connect, to get to know one another, to commune with one another. So I'm very grateful, and I don't take this platform for granted one iota. I really feel the love when I'm on this platform. So it really warms my heart to just be able to chat with people. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I was just talking about how I really appreciated the collaborative relationships that I've had over the years. And these are names that you don't, some of you may know, some of them you don't know, because I'm an independent artist. So um but they were solid relationships. I reached out to one of my collaborators today, and it was really honestly just to say, man, you used to jam, like you were doing it, just to kind of just give them that pat on the back and give them their flowers. Because in that moment, I was listening to some old stuff and I was like, man. So I'm in a season where I'm really focusing on getting my voice back in shape. I had just finished doing the Seth Riggs and Michael Jackson vocal warm up, and I'm happy to report that I am starting to flow in it, and it doesn't feel like I'm struggling through it. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, I was kind of nervous when I first started the warm up because I was like, it's Michael Jackson, duh. Like, he's gonna have like the upper echelon version of a vocal warm up. Am I gonna be able to do this? And I ain't gonna lie, the first few days I was on the struggle bus. I really was. I just dropped my pen on the floor. It's gonna have to stay on the floor because I ain't about to go get it. Anyways, I was struggling the first few days, and I was like, okay, am I gonna be able to do this? Hey, from Brazil? I'm sorry. Look, I see comments, and I'm like, are you serious right now? That is so cool. So cool. Thank you for joining my live. um, so I go through the warm up, and I'm like, girl, you got this. You got this. You've gone to vocal training before. Like, stop acting like you don't know what to do. So I get through it, and I got through it today. It's 25 minutes long. It's on YouTube if anyone wants to try it. If you're a vocalist and you need something that really is going to open up your vocal cords, like it really, like for every range that you would sing. And as I was going through it, I was like, okay, this is really opening me up. um I had double jaw surgery, which some of you know, and one of the benefits, because there's actually a benefit to having titanium plates in your face and screws. Um, One of the key benefits to having that surgery is you sing better. And I had the surgeon tell me that, and I was like, for real? You sing better when you. He said, yeah, let me know. Let me know, how your voice is doing. 4 years later, uh, I'm now just in a place where I enjoy singing again. So, hi there. I'm reading some of the comments. Wow. Listen, it's funny. I met someone today. That's how you know there's connections all over the place, which I'm going to be talking about a little later. But I met somebody today from Rio, which is really wild. So that is so cool. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for joining my live. That is so cool. So cool. Um, Been a lot of places, but I've never been to Brazil, unfortunately. I bet it's a cool place to visit though. And the person that I met, she was telling me that it was a cool place too. So, well, how can you go wrong? It's tropical all year round. So, um, but thank you. So I was just saying that vocal warm ups in this season of life, because I'm trying to condition my voice to get back in that studio. And that vocal warm up is the truth. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, or if you're a singer and you need something to just kind of take it that one notch further, because I think, there's some good ones out there. I'm not discounting the ones that are out there. But this one to me was, it covered my entire range. And I feel like if I were to have to go and sing right now, I would be good and ready to go if I had to do studio work. Um, I feel like singing a little bit. I was trying to think of some things to sing. But how are you guys doing before I get into what I wanted to talk about? How is everybody? How is life? How is just anything? I'm curious. What's going on in the world besides the obvious? Besides the obvious, what are some good things that are happening for people? Because I've always, it just trips me out how one platform can bridge all of us together. We're no longer separated. We're all together in this one space. So I know there are people that are it's probably super, super late. Um, it's a little after 9 here, but there's people all over the world. So what is going on today? I was going through some of my old records, and it was just tripping me out because I was like, they sound really good. They're demos, but I really just, I don't know, they made me, I was jamming to it in the car, and I was like, this sounds good. Let's see. I just like the beat of this one. Hold on. I ain't gonna play all of it. I'm just gonna play a little bit. If I can find it. No, not that one, Lashonda. Kind of bouncing around. Hold on. I was trying to get to the end of this one. Hold on. I'm kind of jumping around. So when I was working with Ivan, one of the things that came to mind was, now I'm an independent artist, so I was never signed to a label or anything like that. So one of the things I really appreciated about that relationship was the fact that he allowed me to really experiment with my voice. And because you got to understand, like, there's the ability to sing, and then there's like, okay, I can sing, true, but what can I really do with my voice? Like, what are some unique things that I can do with my voice? And so it was a rather unique relationship in that he would create things on the fly based on what I was doing vocally. So not only did he have track, like a lot of people would like give me tracks and be like, hey, can you write to this? And so they would already be, fixed and established music compositions. But what Ivan would do is he would literally just create around my voice and what I was doing vocally. So this music that I was just playing is not even a full song. It's really just us in the studio vibing, and he would be at the keyboard, or he'd pull out the guitar, or he would create drum machine sounds literally around what I was doing. I would just literally like free flow, come up with things, experiment with ideas, because at that time I really wasn't I didn't really know what my voice could do. I know what I liked, I know what I would listen to, but during that stage, I had stopped being a consumer of music, um, and I really immersed myself in being the creator, if that makes sense to anybody. Like, I think at some point you get to a place where, at least for me, if I'm going to create something, I better not spend a lot of time listening to other people, because then I'm going to be influenced by what they're doing, and then my stuff is going to sound like theirs. So one of the things I would try to pride myself on is making it not sound like everyone else. And that's not entirely easy to do, um, because we are influenced by the people we listen to. I'm a product of I say the 70s, 80s, 90s, because I kind of, I came in at a unique time. I'll say that. So I was influenced by a lot of the 80s, primarily I would say the 80s sound. We grew up in an environment where, and I'm going to date myself a little bit, cable was like the thing, and not everybody had it. So my parents, they had it, and we grew up. And when I say grew up, I mean grew up. Morning, noon, afternoon, night on MTV. Like, literally, MTV raised us musically. So we were the African American family that we listened to all the genres. During that time, they weren't even really playing black records on MTV. So I would attribute a lot of my sound to just things that I was listening to at the time. A lot of rock, a lot of pop, a lot of kind of folky kind of pop music. But I had my black radio was responsible for giving me all of the black artists. So while they weren't yet on MTV, and there was no VH1, I don't even think that was a thing until later. But black radio was responsible for giving me the Anita Bakers, the Tina Turners, the who else was I listening to prominently during that time? Sade, Barbara Weathers from Atlantic Star. I was a big Atlantic Star fan. So what I used to do is I would just kind of like, I don't even think I had a word for it, but I guess at that time I was studying those artists. I was really taking in their sounds and their techniques. So fast forward, by the time I get to Ivan, he's just allowing me to really like put to practice all of those different styles and elements, because I'm trying to unconsciously develop a sound. And I would have to say it was during those years that I was able to develop a sound. So when I listen to what we did back in the day, it made me a little emotional. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, this is the origin. I had studio experiences before that, but It was the Ivan relationship because what was different about that? Because it really felt like family. It was like more of a brother, sister. I was telling my husband earlier today, like I really felt like I was a part of that family unit. My daughter was young. Um, I'm trying to create this music and create this sound. I don't know where this is really all going. It's like, who doesn't want to be a recording artist? So that was ultimately the goal, but um, that never really materialized on a major level. But I just was a student of trying to create a sound that felt good and that represented who I wanted to be as an artist. Does that make sense to anybody? Am I making sense? You can chime in if you resonate with what I'm saying. Like, just listening to the stuff that we did. There's a song called Bonus in my life, and they were R&B records, but I could tell even then the hand of God was involved in a lot of those songs, because even though they were R&B records, I would find reasons to put God in there. So like Bonus in my life, I was saying, only God knows all that I have been through. Saw fit to pair me up to be with you. 'Cause he knows I can't be along for the long haul. No, 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 no. Something about the way you're smiling makes me feel safe. Gotta be a girl 'cause you deserve that chase. And God, I never thought I'd love again. Oh God, I never thought I'd love again. I'm singing it in a different key. But I was, even in those moments, finding reasons to put God in it. And yeah, God was always there. He was always there. So that leads me into the segment and to why I wanted to go live. I love to sing. I love to give you backstories, but there's another reason why I wanted to go live. So I wanted to talk about, there was a young lady on my last live, and she had said, how do I know God is real? And I love innocent questions like that, because I don't profess to be this biblical scholar. So but I like to answer questions from what I do know. And so I had directed her to one of my other lives, because I give a testimony example, and to why God is real to me, like real experiences that I've had. And so just meditating and in prayer today, the Lord had impressed on my heart his providence, God's providence. And I had two other examples to share in terms of why God is real. So at a very, very young age, my parents, I'm from people ask me where I'm from. So I grew up in several places. I will say, if you ask me where I'm from, I will tell you I'm from Maryland, because that's where I spent most of my formative years. I meet people and they instantly connect me to that area because of dialect, because of experiences, because of, just things that I grew up with. But I did spend some of my formative years in Virginia. So I could claim that as well. But, so for the sake of story time, I'm going to give you a directorial map of where I've been. So I'm a little girl and I'm in elementary school, and I had the pleasure of going to school with my cousins, and because where I lived at the time, you know, we were all together. And so I lived in this apartment community. And, you know, I'm a Gen Xer. So, you know, we come from the generation where all the kids pretty much knew each other. We were all outside playing, we were in sports, or we were cheerleaders, or we were doing something where pretty much all the kids in the neighborhood, in the vicinity of where we all were together. We all knew one another. So this particular person, I'm going to call him Sean, lived in the community that I lived in. And Sean, I was friends with his little sister. And so we'd known them since the age of 9, pretty much. So my parents decided that they're wanting to move to a city that's like 40 minutes from where we were. And I'm in school, probably a school year and a half. And I'm still kind of, you know, finding my way. I'm not the social butterfly. I'm very shy. I talk to you if you talk to me, but I'm not, you know, I'm not initiating conversations. And so I remember being at this new school and just trying to make friends and trying to, you know, find my way. And I'm at my locker, and I close my locker and I look to my left, and Sean is there. And I was like, Sean. And he was like, hey, they called me Shonda. Hey, Shonda. And I'm like, I'm happy because I'm like, I see this person that I know that I hadn't seen in a while, but there he is. And I was like, so do y'all live in the area? And he's like, I live at so and so. And I was like, hey, I live at so and so. So y'all moved to the same community? Yep. So Sean's there. That's the only person I really know from the past at this new school. So fast forward, we move again. Different school. Sean is there. Sean is at this new school. And I'm like, okay. And at that time, I don't have anything to attach this coincidence to. But I was like, did y'all follow us again? I was like, humor me. Where did y'all move to? And it was the same place we moved to. So I'm like, okay, God. I don't even know. Again, I'm young, so I don't even know if I really have anything spiritually to assign this to. I just know that I've moved now 2 places, and Sean is there, and Sean is at the school I'm at. But this is the part that got me. I know y'all like, where's she going with this story? So every year we would faithfully travel down to my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother lived in a town, very southern Georgia. And, you know, like most families, you go and visit your relatives for the holidays. And so from where we were living to grandmother's house is probably a good, let me look it up. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to tell you exactly the distance. $650 miles. So from where I was living to great-grandmother's house, 650 miles. Lock that in. So there for Thanksgiving, my grandmother, great grandmother rather, she's very influential in the city. She's a missionary. She's very active in her church. My great grandmother went to a historic church that had been around since the late 1800s. Very well known, very small, very quaint, historic Black Baptist church. So every Sunday, regardless of what was going on, we would go to church with her. And I go to church, and I'll post a picture of the church because it's really small. It's very small. Whenever you'd leave church, for the most part, people would meet the pastor at the front. So this particular day there was nothing unusual about that. We would exit the church, meet with the pastor, shake hands, talk to people on the front landing of before you get to the steps. So it's a sunny day. It's a sunny Sunday. I walk out. My parents are talking to whomever. My grandmother is still in the church, wrapping up some things. And I look to my left, and Sean is standing there. Sean is standing there. So I'm like, what are you doing here? I tap him on the shoulder, and I was like, really? What are you doing here? And he looked at me like he was just shocked out of his mind, shocked. Like the fact that we're looking at each other, standing outside of this church. So that's when I was like, God is in this. God made this moment happen. This is not happenstance. This is not coincidence. This is not luck. This is the hand of God's providence connecting us. And I don't really have an emotional tie to this person, so it's not on that level. It was more of that was a moment that God wanted me to see him, to see his fingerprint. So I asked him, I said, what is your connection to this church? And he said his grandmother goes there. And I was like, wow, that moment would be orchestrated by God in that way. So fast forward, we're now in Maryland. And at this point, I'm in high school. So there's a good 6 years that have 5 years at best that I've gone by. We go back to visit the city because we still have friends there, and that would be a connection point, like on the weekends, something to do. Go from Maryland and go to the city to visit old friends. So my mom and I, we stop at the mall, and I think she wanted to buy my father something in the men's clothing or shoe store or whatever. We walk into the store, and Sean is there. Sean is behind the counter. And I said, okay, all right. God is real. Straight up. Like, there's no way. Out of all the people, the places, spaces that you could be in, that's too that there's no other explanation other than God's providence organized and put people where he put them. So I say that to say, I'm sure at some point in this life, before it is over, I will see Sean one more time. I don't know what capacity or where, when, how, who, what is going to arrange that. But I think I'm going to see him one more time. We'll be probably old and gray, but I will see Sean one more time in the name of Jesus. So fast forward, separate story. I had a friend of mine who, okay, so I used to take the Amtrak to New York from DC. I can't even remember the name. What's the DC train station? I can't even remember the train station in DC. I should know this. Might be drawing a blank on these places and spaces. What's the name of that? Union Station. So I would take the train from Union Station to New York, and I had a vocal teacher. She was in the Village. So this particular time, one of my friends called me and was like, hey, I have someone I want you to meet. He's a singer. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to New York for vocal lessons. And she was like, oh, well, we're going to be in New York like the day before I said I would. So I was like, well, doesn't sound like our schedules are going to align. So, how long are you going to be there? And she was like, I'm going to be there for a couple of days. And I said, well, I don't know if our schedules are going to align. Would love to meet your friend, but, we may have to table that for another time. So I kind of just went on about my day or whatever, and I went to my vocal lesson, and that was some dope times because this lady, she was really, really good. She was a rock singer, but she had some really good vocal techniques, and she had some really good techniques for loosening up your neck muscles. So when you sing, it's very important that you don't have a lot of tense muscles in your neck, because then you're not able to belt when you need to belt certain notes. So she was really good about giving me different breathing techniques as well as execution of the voice. So, and then another fun fact, she looked like Madonna, which used to trip me out, because I would be like, okay, why does this lady look just like Madonna? She told me, she said, if I had a dime for every time somebody said that, and I was like, well, I mean, you kind of do. So I went to my vocal lesson. I leave the vocal lesson. I go down to the, the custom t-shirt shop, because New York had all these boutiques that I used to love to go to. And so I go to the t-shirt shop, I go to my boutique shop, I get my little, I used to buy like little fox shawls and different furs and stuff. So I got my bags, I'm headed back to the station. I'm on the corner of the New York City, Greenwich Village corner. Let me see. How many people? Let's see. Population of Manhattan. $1.63 million people live in Manhattan. So I'm on the corner, and I am in the process of hailing a cab to go back to the train station. I look over to my right, and my friend is standing next to me with the guy she wanted me to meet. And I'm like, no. Yes. I just tapped her on the shoulder because I could not even believe she was standing there. So I tap her on the shoulder and I'm like, what are you doing here? I guess that's I guess that was my phrase. What are you doing here? And she's like, she looked at me like, how did you get here? And I was like, I'm hailing a cab. How did you get here? But yeah, that was my Sean like story too, because we're in New York City and it's 1.63 million people. How is it that I'm on the corner with her? Hold that thought, because I'm going to take a quick, hold on, I'm trying to find my quick little, I don't know what I did with it. I had a little covering for my phone, because I don't know how to pause lives. So I had like a little covering thing for my phone. And I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. What did I do with it, Lashonda? Okay, well, since I don't know where my little covering is, I'm just gonna make a makeshift covering because I'm about to go to another room for a hot second. I'm going to be right back. Right back. I am back, 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 back. Okay, of course I find it once I come back. Okay, so it's 43 minutes. So I run into this person on the New York City corner, hailing a cab. She's hailing a cab, I'm hailing a cab. And check this out. Turns out we were both going back to the train station and headed back to Washington on the same train. So I took that to mean that this was definitely someone that he wanted me to connect with. Because there is no possible way that God didn't have his hand in that. There's no way. It's no way. No way, no way, no way, no way. I just believe that he divinely orchestrates people that he wants us to be in connection and communion with. So that is a final answer on my side of the fence in terms of that. Yeah, the Sean thing, that really tripped me out to see him at my grandmother's church. That was like, it's a small town, guys. It's not a big town. I promise you it's not. There was a white side of town, and there was railroad tracks, and there was a black side of town. On everything I love. It was not that kind of town. I think the powerful part of that testimony too is that I wasn't necessarily trying to have a spiritual experience, yet God found a way to connect with me as a child. I never, and I guess there was a reason for that. Like I I'd never forgotten it. Like it's ingrained in my heart. Um, and I love telling that story because it's just a reminder that he is real. Um, it's just simply living life, and looking back on those moments, I can see where God was attention, drawing my attention to him. Um, yeah. So I love telling that story because most people are like, "What? He was there, or she was on the street corner." Yep, she sure was. Um, so if you have experienced something like that, I would love to hear from you guys too, because I know this isn't just unique to me. I know that there are probably other people that have had similar experiences, and they're beautiful experiences. It's just really a reminder that he is sovereign and he is everywhere in every space, irregardless of time, our time. He is present, past, alpha, omega. He's everywhere. Um, so it's a beautiful reminder, beautiful God moments, I should say. Um, but yeah, that's primarily what I wanted to share. I like to be intentional about going live. I know there's some people that go live. I don't know how they do it, but they're able to do it. They go live and their lives they're really intense and long, and I was like, I don't know that I have the ability to have long lives. Um, but what I will do is just think about, intentional moments to share the word of God, or God experiences, or just something inspirational, or something that touched my heart that I would want to share with y'all, because yeah, I really enjoyed this platform. So um so I think that's gonna do it. If anyone has anything else they want to add, or you can always leave comments. I'm always open to hearing from you. I want to hear from you. I think as time goes on, I will find moments to come on a little earlier, because I know people are in different time zones and different countries. And so I want to try to find that sweet spot where it's not super, super late for some people, and then they're able to join too. And yeah, that's basically going to do it for me. But as always, I'm Lashonda. I'm a child of God. I serve at the pleasure of Jesus Christ. I'm a child of grace. And it is one of the highlights of my evening is to spend time with you. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you the next time. Be blessed.